Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Samyak Darshanam means correct experience. We all have experience. For example, the examples given by Bhagavan Shankaracharya, he who is seeing the two moons because of the defect in the eyes, yatha timira drishtihi anekam chandram pashyati, tam apeksha eka chandradarshi vishishyate. So we all have experience. But the question is whether we are having the right experience or the wrong experience. Like what now? See, the bird looks into the mirror and he sees his reflection. And we also look into the mirror and we see our reflection. Now the bird is having a terrible problem. Who is there? If you have seen sometime, if the mirror is kept little slanting, there is a space behind. The bird will go and pecking, and go from backside. Who is there? There is no one. Again it comes and again goes on pecking till the beak starts bleeding. And we also see. I hope we don't do that. Isn't it? So, experience is by both, the bird as well as we. Now, what is the difference? That difference is meant here by the Samyak Darshan. Now, for example, we have the experience of duality and we have the experience of relativity, as well as the wise people are also living in this world and they have the experience of duality and relativity. But what is the difference between these two qualities of experiences? For the ignorant person, the relative world is real. And for the wise person, it is the reality which is real, on which the relativity is superimposed. In this manner, he who has correctly identified himself, he alone is living. And those who have wrongly identified themselves, they are suicidal in their existence. This is what in the 28th verse Bhagavan Sri Krishna brings out the topic. Yathoktasya samyak darshanasya phalavachanena stutihi kartavya iti shlokaha arabhyate. So, to glorify and give value and importance to the right interpretation of our experiences, the teacher says in the 28th verse, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Samam Pashyan Hi Sarvatra Samavasthitam Ishwaram Nahi nastyatmanatmanam Tato yati param gatim. Samam Pashyan Upalabhamanaha Hi Yasmat Sarvatra Sarvabhuteshu Samavasthitam Tulyataya Avasthitam Ishwaram Atita Anantara Shloka Ukta Lakshanam Ityartaha. So, what was said in the earlier verses about this Paramatma Tattva? Samam Sarveshu Bhuteshu Tishthantam Parameshwaram. So, that Parabrahma Paramatma who is supporting the total relative world, he who has seen this reality, he who has recognized this absolute self. So, Samam Pashyan Hi, then na hinasti himsam na karoti atmana svena eva swam. So he doesn't kill himself. Atmana svena eva swam atmanam tataha, and tad ahimsanad, and because he doesn't kill himself, yati param prakrishtam gatim mokshakhyam, he attains immortality. Now this translation is creating a question. What is that question? Nanu na eva kaschit prani swayam swam atmanam hinasti. See? Nobody kills himself. Why do you say that he doesn't kill himself? There is no need to say nobody kills himself. So katham hinasti iti uchyate, apraptam hi na hinasti iti. So there is no need to say. So what is not required, why do you say? Such as yatha na pruthivyam agnihi chetavya na intarakshe ityadi. Don't burn the fire on the earth. Then where to burn it? Don't burn the fire in the space. Nobody burns fire there. See? So to say that na hinasti atmana atmanam, this is a meaningless statement. So the teacher says, na esha doshaha ajnanam atmatiraskarana upapattehe. Now see, atmahatya means what? Atmahatya means non-recognition of our own essential nature. Tiraskara is hatya. Tiraskara is killing. You know, it so happened in Mahabharata this story comes. Somewhere once Yudhishthir, yes, says something against the Gandiva Dhanusha of Arjun. And Arjun had taken a vow. Anybody who will say one word about my Gandiva Dhanusha, I will kill him. That was his vow. So according to his vow, he has to kill now Yudhishthir. So, big problem. Now see, this is how the problems come with that Jiva Bhava. On the contrary, take Bhagavan Krishna. I will not take the Shastra in my hand. Yes, now I am taking. No problem. Prana jai par bhajanana jai. Then suffer throughout your life. So Arjuna has taken this vow. He who will speak ill or even light about my Gandiva Dhanusha, I will kill him. Now the question came how to kill Yudhishthir. That is also bad, that is also papa. That time Bhagavan Sri Krishna says, look here, when Yudhishthira comes, you don't stand up and do namaskar to him, and when he will talk to you, you say, Insulting elders is equivalent to killing them. You don't have to kill them. If this principle is clear, insulting the divinity in us is atmahatya. See, this is the meaning. That is why na esha doshaha ajnanam atmatiraskaranam upavattehe. Because ignorant people, they discard their own divinity. Sarvo hi ajna atyanta prasiddham sakshat aprokshat atmanam tiraskritya anatmanam atmatvena parigruyah tam api dharma dharmo krutva upattam atmanam hatva anyam atmanam upadatte navam tam cha evam hatva anyam tam eva api hatva anyam iti evam upattam atmanam hanti iti atmaha sarva ajnaha. See what Bhagavan says, once we have discarded our divinity as our essential self and start taking ourselves to be the body, then we will be engaged only in the dharma adharma. So we will continuously be busy in that dharma adharma. As a result of this karma, dharma, adharma, we will be getting newer and newer bodies. So first body will be killed, it will die. Then we'll take another body for the fulfillment of our desire, karma phala. Then that body will again harvest us more karma phala. Then again that body will die. Then again we will take another body. In this manner, this anatmadnya, those ignorant people who have not recognized their essential nature, they are continuously killing themselves, because every time when they think body is I and the body is dying, so they are atmahatyare. They are the self-suicidal existence. Therefore, yahatu paramarthatma asau api sarvada avidyataya hata eva. So when you think atmahatya, killing the self, when you consider yourself to be body, body dies, therefore you are a killer yourself. Now second thing, those who are disrespecting the divinity, yahatu paramarthatma asau api sarvada avidyaya hata eva. Avidyaya hataha eva paramatma. Because when we don't recognize the divine presence, it is called as killing the divine presence. So hataha eva vidyamana phala abhavat iti. Because he who has discovered the Atma Tattva as his essential nature, his life will be different. He will never suffer in this world. He will never be disturbed in this world. He will never have desires. That is how avidyaya hata eva vidyamana phala abhavat iti sarve atmahanaha eva avidvamsaha. So those who do not recognize their own essential self, all those avidvamsaha, ignorant people, they are leading a suicidal life. Now see the similar thought where we have seen. We don't know where we have seen. After you tell, we can tell yes. Asuryanamate loka andhena tamasavruta tagamste pretyabhigachanti yeke chatmahano janaha. Yes. You know, once I was going somewhere and that person asked me, Swamiji, we are going to somebody's house. You know their house? Where it is? I said, yes, after we go inside the house, I can tell you this is the house. In the same manner. Atmahatya. Asuryanamati loka andhena tamasavruta. Those who are leading their life at a relative existence, they are living a suicidal existence. Therefore, yahatu itaraha yatha ukta atmadarshi. But he who has recognized his self, what is the recognition of the self? Kshetrajnam chapi mam viddhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. He who has recognized himself, yatha ukta atmadarshi. Not whatever we think Atma we are, no. As it is proved, established with the authority of the scriptures, etc. Saha ubhayatha api atmana atmanam na hinasti. He doesn't kill the Atma both ways. Earlier we have seen how he kills the Atma both ways. One, taking more and more body is killing Atma, because he has taken body to be the self. Second, disrespecting the divine nature, therefore he is killing that. So ubhayatha, in both ways, this yathokta atmadarshi, atmana atmanam na hinasti. He does not mistake himself to be body, and he does not disidentify himself from the absolute reality. And as a result, tataha yati param gatim yathokta phalam tasya bhavati ityartaha. And therefore he attained the supreme experience of eternal bliss. Tato yati param gatim. Sarvabhutastham isham samam pashyan na hinasti atmana atmanam iti uktam. Tad anupapannam. We don't agree what you said. That the one who sees that one reality in and through the total creation, he does not kill himself. This is not rightly said. Why? Swaguna karma vailakshanya bheda bhinneshu atmasu iti etat ashankyaha. Because swaguna karma vailakshana bheda bhinneshu atmasu. to see the divinity in all those who are exactly contrary to our experience. For example, my experience is I am a man. I can suspect divinity in me. But to see divinity in the woman, impossible. First. Second, I am a living being. I can suspect divinity in the living being. But to suspect divinity in the stones and the rivers and the plants and the sands, no, it is not possible. Therefore, this statement, Sarva Bhutastam Ishan Samam Pashyan, it is not possible. Swaguna karma vilakshanya bheda bhinneshu atmasu samam Sarva Bhutastam Isham Pashyan, not possible. Iti ashankya. Keeping this doubt in mind, Bhagavan says in the 29th verse, Prakrutyaiva cha karmani kriyamanani sarvashaha yapashyati tathatmanam akartaram sapashyati. Now here the teacher says, what is the vision of this wise man? How he is able to see Paramatma in everything and being, means including him. He is not excluded. He is included in that. So what is his vision? Prakrutya, Prakriti Bhagavataha Maya Trigunatmika Mayam tu Prakrutim Vidyat iti mantra varnat Taya Prakrutya, by the Prakriti Maya of the Bhagavan Paramatma evacha na annena mahadadi karya karana kara parinitayaha karmani sarva prakarehi upalabhate. All the karmas are belonging to the area of Prakriti. So, na annena, not by anything else. And how the Prakriti does the karya? Mahadari karya karana kara parinitaya Prakrutya. That Prakriti, when it is manifest. See, Alinga Vishesha Parinama and the Linga Vishesha Parinama. Alinga Vishesha Parinama is what? The unmanifest Prakriti. And what is the manifest Prakriti? It starts from Mahat up to the five gross elements or the five great elements. Therefore, Mahabhutanyahankaro Buddhi, 7 of them, and Indriyani Dashaikam cha Panchachendriya Gocharaha, 16 of them. So 16 plus 7, 23. 23 are the manifest aspect of the Prakriti and that one Prakriti unmanifest. So here the teacher says Prakrutya. So Bhagavataha Prakrutya, how it is Mahadadi Karya Karana Kara Parinitaya. When this Prakriti gets modified into the Mahat, then the Asmita, and then the Panchatanmatra, then Ekadashi Indriyani, and the gross 5 elements. In this manner, Karmani, Vang Mana Kaya Rambhyani. All the karmas which begin from the speech, the mind, etc., Kriyamanani, Nivartyamanani. So all the karmas belong to the Prakriti. Sarvashaha, Sarva Prakarehi, Yaha Pashyati Upalabhate. He who thus sees that all the karma, actions, etc., they are happening in Prakriti. Tatha Atmanam Kshetrajnam. Then what about himself? He recognizes himself to be Kshetrajna and therefore Akartaram. He is not the doer. So, Sarva Upadhi Vivarjitam Yaha Pashyati Paramarthadarshi Iti Abhiprayaha. Now see the 3 things. All the activities, modifications belong to Prakriti. First. Because Karya Karana Kartrutve Prakritihi Karana Muchyate. Prakriti is the cause It is the origin of all the karya, gross body and karana, the faculties and their functioning. This belongs to Prakriti. Second stage. Purushaha prakrutistho hi bhungte prakritijan gunan. When this Paramatma Kshetrajna gets involved, identified with the Prakriti, then he is called as the Jivatma Purusha, and then he is sufferer or enjoyer. Second stage. Now the third stage. Tatha Atmanam Kshetrajnam Akartaram Yaha Pashyati. But if the Purusha recognizes himself not Prakritistahi, but beyond the Prakriti. See, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Atmanam chet vijaniyat ayamasmiti purushaha kimichan kasya kamaya shariram anushajvaret. When the Purusha, the Jiva, comes to recognize his essential self, will he ever have desires? One. Will there be anybody called as Jiva? Two. And will there be any necessity for him to be attached to the body? Three. So, our desires, our enjoyment and attachment to the body is only because we have mistaken our identity to be the Jiva. Purusha prakrutistho hi bhungte prakritijan gunan. And when the same Purusha is no more prakritistaha, but he is above the Prakriti, then he is Kshetrajna. So, tatha atmanam kshetrajnam akartaram sarva upadhi vivarjitam pashyati. Now see how to see the self as free from all the upadhis. You know what happens? When we are practicing our spiritual life, we are not practicing it in a very high aware manner. It is becoming mechanical. See, why the government servants are not inspired in their life? Because they lead a mechanical life. Go to the office, call for tea, and don't do any work, and play politics and come back. Same thing every day. There is no charm in their life. Therefore, the same thing happens in our spiritual life. We get up and the same thing, and there is no change. We are getting caught up in the mechanics of the Prakriti. And therefore we don't see spiritual growth. That's why you will see many people who are very sincere. There is no doubt about their sincerity. But their sincerity is wrongly applied. And as a result, they feel totally disgusted, and I don't know, I do this thing, I do that thing, but nobody likes me, I don't know what is wrong with me. You are leading a mechanical life, therefore there is no charm in your life. So here Bhagavan tells, this is very, very important. Tatha atmanam kshetrajnam akartaram pashyati sarva upadhi vivarjitam pashyati. He recognizes himself to be free from the influence of all the conditionings. Now start this sadhana. What will happen? You are keeping your eyes open. Very good. Then you are seeing the colors and form. Very good. Now you close your eyes. Colors and forms are not seen. So the seer, seen and seeing experience is wiped out. But I is not conditioned by the experience, the experiencer and the experienced. Recognize this. The gross body, we totally disregard in the deep sleep. And yet, we continue to exist. Therefore, our identification with the gross body is not a necessity for our existence. And once this is deeply convinced, in our mind, the result will be everything belonging to the gross body relationship, the gross waking world, will automatically be devalued. See? And what is the devaluation about the gross world? Prajahati yada kaman sarvan parthamanogatan atmannevatmana tushtaha stita prajnas tadocchate. There cannot be any longings, any desires, anything to be achieved or protected in this world. So, tatha atmanam kshetrajnam akartaram sarva upadhi vivarjitam pashyati. Now the third subtle meditation. Akartaram, not the doer. When we take the food, who is digesting the food? I? No, I can eat. Digestion is not done by me. So where is the digestion? Digestion svabhavastu pravartate. Digestion belongs to the Prakriti. Constipation belongs to the Prakriti. As a jiva, I neither do the digestion. As a Parabrahma Paramatma, I neither do the digestion or the constipation. See? Svabhavastu pravartate. So all these modifications belong to the Prakriti, and therefore Swamatmanam tatha akartaram yaha pashyati sapashyati. He alone has correctly recognized the meaning of the self. So, nirgunasya akartuhu nirvisheshasya akashasya iva bhede pramana anupapattihi ityartaha. Therefore, for this space like, free from the qualities, free from the doership, free from the specialities, like the space, in that Parabrahma Paramatma, Bhede Pramana Anupapattihi. There cannot be any reason why there will be differences and differentiations. And therefore, such a Mahatma is able to see oneness in spite of the multitude. See, if we can extend our individual experiences without biasness, we are practicing spiritual sadhana. Like, now, I as a teacher, you are my students. So, I have some special love, concern about you. Other students, oh, there are so many, why do I care? So, samsara will begin. On the contrary, if I extend this love and care for you to everybody in this world, then I have gone beyond the conditioning. Therefore, here, nirgunasya akartuhu nirvisheshasya akashasya iva. The one who does not get identified with any conditioning, he alone can see that divine presence in and through. And such a person alone sees, all others are blind. Punarapi tadeva samyak darshanam shabdantarena prapanchayati. Again the same experience divine is restated through different words. Yada bhuta pruthak bhavam ekasthamanupashyati tata eva cha vistaram brahma sampadyate tada. Yada yasmin kale, when bhuta pruthak bhavam, bhutanam pruthak bhavaha pruthaktvam, the separateness among the things and beings. Yada yasmin kale, when the separateness among the things and the beings, ekastham, ekasmin atmani sthitam, ekastham anupashyati. He who is able to see the differences without losing the sight of oneness. See? Ekastham. Take an example. We see many ornaments in one gold. So what is our knowledge? Our knowledge is that the manyness of the ornaments is on account of the names and the forms. And the oneness of all the ornaments is because of the gold. So in this manner, yada bhuta pruthak bhavam ekatvam ekastham anupashyati, meaning he who is able to recognize both the transcendental and immanent aspect of the reality. So yada yasmin kale bhuta prathak bhavam bhutanam prathak bhavam prathakvam ekastham ekasmin atmani sthitam ekastham anupashyati. How he is able to do this? Shastra acharya upadeshataha matva atma pratyakshatvena pashyati atmaiva idam sarvam iti. And to come to this vision, it will not just happen like that. Then it is what? Shastra acharya upadeshataha matva. See what happens, when something is with us, not knowing how it is with us, it is likely that we lose that. And we cannot pass it on to others. For example, I get a position in the government job. Why? Not because I am intelligent, not because I have the qualification, not because I am the most suitable candidate, but because I belong to a privileged class. Then all the powers will come to me. Now those powers which have come to me, without I deserving them, I will definitely misuse them. And this is how it happens, when you do a lot of Sayyama and Siddhi and all that, you get those powers suddenly, and then one is totally lost balance. Therefore, Acharya Shastra Upadeshataha Matva Atma Pratyakshatvena Pashyati. He who is able to recognize the self on the authority and guidance from the scriptures and the teacher, he alone pashyati, ekatvam anupashyati. Now here the word is anupashyati. Anu means what? Behind everything that is seen, there is one continuous existence. See the example which I gave you. Behind all the ornaments, there is a continuous gold. So we can't say continuous, but one ornament is in the one left hand, other is in the right. How it is continuous? Then it is not worth talking to you. The gold may appear to be separate because of the names and form, but gold is the same. It is something like, in these two bulbs, they are separate from each other. How do you say that electricity is the common between the two bulbs? Then try. Put your both hands in both the sockets and experience which is hot, which is cold. Therefore, here, Atma Pratyakshatvena Shastra Acharya Upadeshataha Pashyati. Tata evacha tasmad evacha vistaram utpattim vikasam. And it is from this Paramatma alone which is recognized as one's own self. Tasmad atmanaha akashat sambhutaha akashad vayuhu vayoragnihi agne apaha adbhya prithvi prithivya oshadaya oshadibhya annam annat purushaha. See, the whole expanse is from that Parabrahma Paramatma which is recognized as one's own self. So tata evacha vistaram utpattim vikasam. Here Bhagavan has given different mantra. Atmataha prana, atmataha asha, atmataha smara, atmataha akasha, atmataha tejaha, tejaha, atmataha apaha, atmataha avirbhava, tirobhava, atmataha annam. Meaning every experience is possible only because of this absolute self. And therefore the self is anupashyati. is to be recognized behind the total creation, behind all the experiences, etc. Iti evam adi prakarehi vistaram yada pashyati. When he is able to thus discover, recognize the divine presence as subjective as well as objective, and thereby the objectivity is discarded. Kshetrajnam chapi mam viddhi sarva kshetreshu bharata tada brahma sampadyate tasmin kale saha brahmaiva bhavati. He has recognized his correct identity. Therefore, samyak darshanam means this. For him there is no doubt whatsoever whether it is objective experience or it is a subjective experience. Everything is divine alone. Like, with reference to our own self. Do we feel that any part of our body is undivine? No. When you are doing karma kanda, yes. If you are doing pranayam, om bhurvusva, you close your nose, fiddle with your nose, and then immediately hand has become apavitra because you have touched the nose, then touch your right ear, then the hand has become pavitra. See? You only have said some one or two mantras, and then again you take little water in your mouth, and when you take achavanam, mouth has become pavitra. But in fact, when we discover our own self, there is nothing like pure or impure in our being. So, ekasya atmanaha sarvadehatmatve taddosha sambandhe prapte idam uchyate. Now, if we say that there is but one reality, then there will be a problem. What will be the problem? That problem is that if the same Atma is present supporting all the bodies, then the problems of all the bodies will be contained in that Atma. This question was asked to me by one very smart, sweet little child. His problem was, Swamiji, you people tell us God is in us, God is everywhere, and since that day I am very much worried about God. See what happened? His question was very intelligent. His question was, we are in our heart and we suffer because of our miseries. Yes. So I suffer because of my own miseries because I am only in my heart. But poor God is in everybody's heart. So he will be the most miserable creature in this world because he is in everybody's heart, and in everybody's heart there is a misery. So what will be his condition? Now this question is replied in this 31st verse. Anaditvat nirgunatvat paramatmayam avyayaha sharirasthopi kaunteya na karoti na lipyate. So this your problem. If Atma is supporting everything and he is everything, then he will suffer the limitations of everything? No. Why? Anaditvat. Anadehe bhavaha anaditvam. That which does not have the beginning. That which does not have the cause. Adihi karanam. Tasya tadasya na asti iti anadi. The one which is the uncreated eternal existence. It is not beginning in time. It is not created from anything. That is anadi. Anaditvat. Yan hi adimat tat svena atmana veti. Because that which has a beginning is bound to change. See? And therefore this Atma Tattva being associated with all the changing Prakriti will not be influenced by that change. So yad adimat tat svena atmana veti ayam tu anaditvad nirayavaha iti krutva na veti. Now therefore the first problem, when the Atma is supporting everything, he will suffer. No, he will not suffer because even if he wants, he cannot. The reason is because he is without beginning. That which is without beginning cannot undergo any change. In the story of Birbal and Akbar, this thing comes. Once Akbar asked this Birbal that your God Allah is superior or I am superior. So Birbal said, Jampana, you are superior than the God. He said, I knew something abnormal will come out of you. How do you say I am superior than Allah and God? He said, because when you get angry, you can ask somebody to get out of your kingdom. When God becomes angry, He cannot ask anybody to get out from His kingdom. Because where He is not, where His kingdom is not, meaning what? Who is really great? See? So, Anaditvat, this Parabrahma Paramatma, being without beginning, will never undergo any modification, and therefore, although associated with all the modifying things, it will not have any impact. Therefore, na karoti na lipyate. Tatha nirgunatvat. Nirgunatvat saguno hi gunavyayad veti. Ayam tu nirgunatvat na veti iti paramatma ayam avyayaha na asya vyayo vidyati iti avyayaha. Second thing, this Paramatma is nirguna. Wherever there are gunas, there is bound to be modification. Sometimes sattva is more, sometimes rajas is more, all the time tamas is more. And as a result, our life is determined and manifested with the predominance of these three gunas. But the Paramatma being beyond the three gunas, not influenced by them, therefore in Paramatma there is neither knowledge, nor ignorance, nor activity. And therefore avyayaha does not undergo any modification, does not suffer any loss. Avyaya means suffering a loss. So not suffering a loss is avyaya. Therefore, anaditvat, nirgunatvat, paramatma ayam avyayaha. So this paramatma tattva is ayam avyayaha, nasya vyayo vidyate iti avyayaha. He who doesn't suffer any loss is called as avyaya. Now, yataha evam ataha, this being so, sharirasthaha api sharireshu atmanaha upalabdhi bhavati iti sharirastha uchyate. Now this Atma is available to us only in the body. Now see, if we have to be told, explain space, how we will explain space? If I had to tell you space, how will I start? So I will say, for example, you see this finger, one, yes. Now you see this second finger. Why they are two? Because after the first finger's contour line is over, there is absence. Then there is a second finger and then again absence. Then there is a third finger. So this absence, what you are seeing between the fingers is called as space. Now what I am doing? That space which cannot be indicated by any way, so I am creating a conditioned space. And once that conditioned space is understood, then I discard the conditioning. See? Therefore, this Atma Tattva, Sharirasthaha api. We will not be able to recognize this absolute reality without the reference of the body. See? Because with whom we come in contact? With the bodies. So, this Parabrahma Paramatma is available to us only in this very body, and we are functioning through this body, but not as the body. Sharirasthopi kaunteya. Therefore, sharirsthaha api na karoti. Therefore, he is not a doer, although he is living in the body. So, tat akaranat eva tat phalena na lipyate. And because he is not the doer, there will be no results of the karma. And when there are no results of the karma, he will not be bound, lipyate, influenced by this karma. Because the rule is, yo hi karta sa karma phalena lipyate, ayam tu akarta ataha na phalena lipyate ityartaha. Whosoever is the doer, he alone is influenced by the results of the action. He is not influenced. Now this principle all of us know. It's not something big. And yet we don't understand that non-application of this principle makes us miserable. How important it is. See, when I know this principle, if I do something, I will get the karma phala. And what is the karma phala? Either joy or sorrow. There is no third karma phala. Sukha dukkha only. And to whom sukha dukkha will come? If I have the sense of doership. See? Now if I discard the sense of doership, then karma is done, but there is no karta. Because there is no karta, no doer, there will not be karma phala. What is the karma phala? Joy and sorrows. So such a person who functions in this world without the sense of doership, he is not qualified either to get joy or the sorrows. See? This is the meaning. Yohi karta sa karma phalena lipyate. And therefore, whenever we have become hurt, whenever we have become disturbed, understand our kartrutva bhiman was poisoning our personality. There is nothing in this world which can justify that we get hurt because of this or because of that. No. The impact, the injury, the wound of misery falls only on the ego. Neither on the Prakriti nor on the Paramatma. Therefore, Sharirasthopi Kaunteya na lipyate, na karoti na lipyate. So, akarta ataha na phalena lipyate ityartaha. Now your question is raised. Kaha punaha deheshu karote lipyate cha? Then who is doing the karma? And who is getting influenced by the karma? Here, the Purva Pakshi brings out very, very strong objection. Kaha puna deheshu karoti lipyate cha yadi tavat anyaha paramatmanaha dehi karoti lipyate cha tat idam anupapanna muktam kshetra ishvara ekatvam kshetrajnam chapi maam vidhi ityadi. Now you say that kshetrajna and ishvara is one, so they are akarta. The body, Prakriti, is doing the karma and therefore everything is in the Prakriti, but Prakriti doesn't suffer. See, when the body becomes old, the body doesn't suffer. It is I who suffer. So the question is, who is the sufferer or the enjoyer? Now, when you say, yadi tavat anyaha paramatmanaha dehi karoti lipyate cha. If you say that there is someone else who is doing the karma, who is suffering, but then who is that? That you are not telling. And it cannot be the kshetrajna, the dehi, because kshetrajna Ishvara is one. Or else you say that kshetrajna Ishvara is one is wrong. These are the options. Because atha na asti ishvarat anyo dehi, because ishvarat anyaha na dehi asti. You only said that purushaha prakrutistho hi bhunkte prakrutijan gunan, and this purusha is kshetrajna. Then who is the enjoyer or the sufferer? Therefore, no asti ishvarat anyo dehi kaha karoti lipyate cha iti vachyam pura va paraha va nasti iti. Therefore, the question is, then who is this in this body who is experiencing joys and sorrows? Is there someone else other than the Paramatma who is suffering and enjoying? Now see, Jiva is not brought anywhere. And therefore, now this is the common statement made by most of the people. Sarvatha durvidneyam durvachyam chiti bhagavat proktam aupanishadam darshanam parityaktam vaisheshikaihi sankhyahi arhata and bauddhaihi cha. this knowledge of the Upanishad mentioned by Bhagavan Krishna is such confusion, durvidneyam, impossible to comprehend, durvachya, should never be said. And because of this, the various philosophies have sprung out of Hinduism. And what is that? Vaisheshika, Sankhya, Jaina and Buddha. Because these four philosophies, their foundation is Jiva Bhava. See, that is why in the Jaina spiritual life, there is a lot of emphasis on the tapasya. See? So that the jiva becomes pure. Similarly, in case of the Buddha, there is nothing like God. Only they are doing their karma and purification. And therefore they talk about compassion, love, and take mala everybody in the hand. And that is why when Ashoka became the Buddha, after that only our country was being attacked by many foreign rulers. That is why this knowledge is very difficult, and that is why other people have left it. So, tatra ayam pariharo bhagavata svena eva uktaha. Now Bhagavan says, see, this problem is very peculiar problem. Because something cannot be understood, that doesn't mean it is wrong. See? You know what happens? Where it happened, the other day somebody came to meet me and I was doing something on my computer. He said, Swamiji, you can do this. I said, yes, I have to do it. What else will I do? See, in my house also we have got computer and all that, but I am so afraid to touch, I just can't do that. It is so difficult. Because it is difficult, it is not wrong. It is our inability to get into. See? Once our mind is clear, you will see everything is very simple. Then there is nothing that can disturb you. Like, the other day, somebody was telling Swamiji, why are you recording your own talks? I said, it is none of your business. No, Swamiji, not like that, but I want to know. Because no Mahatmas are doing this, you are only doing. I said, I am not a Mahatma, who told you? I am a Chota Atma. He said, no, there must be some reason. You please explain me. I am not questioning you, I am not arguing with you. Please don't brush me away. I said, look here. Bhagavan Vedavyasa has written or compiled Vedas into the 4 categories. During his time, if recording machines were available, he would have done the same thing. Bhagavan Shankaracharya has written the commentaries. Did you object that? Mirabai has written bhajans. So this is not something extraordinary or something bad. It is just a medium. That's it. Therefore, once our mind is very clear, you will never have these kinds of questions. So when it is said that the moment you give importance to the Jiva Bhava, you will go the wrong way. You will want freedom for I, and there is nobody who has ever become free. Because even if you go to the Brahmalok, we have seen in our Shvetashvatara Upanishad, there also Jnatva evam Brahma samashnute. So ultimately, unless we know the truth, and for that, this is the way, there is no other way. Kshetrajnam chapi mam viddhi. So, tatra ayam parivaharaha bhagavata svena ukta svabhavastu pravartate. Bhagavan has already told, prakrute kriyamanane gudai karmani sarvashaha. All the modifications karma are happening in the prakriti. Svabhavastu pravartate. Avidya matra svabhavo hi karoti lipyate iti vyavaharaha bhavati natu paramarthataha ekasmin paramatmani tadasti. Therefore, all the karma, kurma, etc. is done only by the prakriti. Now, what we mistake, we mistake. Prakriti means what? starting from the avyakta, mahat, then the asmita, then the ekadashi indriyani, then the pancha tanmatrani and the pancha indriya gocharaha. This is alone what we understand Prakriti. But Bhagavan very clearly told, Dve Prakriti. First is Ashtadha Prakriti and second is Jiva Bhuta Prakriti. So Jiva goes into the Prakriti. He is not Paramatma. See? When this is not understood, we get lost into wrong arguments, as it is happening here. Therefore, avidya matra svabhavo hi karoti lipyate iti vyavaharaha bhavati natu paramarthataha. And therefore, ataha ekasmin paramartha sankhya darshane sthitanam jnana nishtanam paramahamsa parivrajakaanam tiraskruta avidya vyavaharanam karmadhikaro nasti iti tatra tatra darshitam bhagavata. Therefore, those who are established in this wisdom, they never claim to have the authority for doing karma. Therefore, they move in this world without getting caught in this karma and bless the whole world by their very presence. This is what is shown by Bhagavan everywhere. Kim evana karoti na lipyate iti atra drushtantamaha. Now, how this Paramatma does not get involved in the karma and he is not getting influence, this is explained through drishtanta, through some simile or examples. See, what is important is, in the presentation of our thoughts we have seen, if you are not able to give a drishtanta, then your statement is invalid. You have to give a drishtanta example. And therefore you will see everywhere, whenever something is said, immediately an example is given. Now here is an example. Yatha sarvagatam saukshmyat akasham nopalipyate sarvatravasthito dehe tathatmanopalipyate. Now here, yatha sarvagatam vyapi api sat saukshmat sukshma bhavad akasham kham na upalipyate na sambadhyate sarva avasthita dehe tatha atma na upalipyate. Now what is said here is, space is the one which is supporting all the four elements. So, what is the relationship now between the space and other? Space is the cause supporting all the elements. Without the space, four elements have no existence. Therefore, the four elements should affect the space or should not affect the space. This is the question. If the four elements will affect the space, can it be called as the cause? No. One. Second thing, why the space is not affected by the four elements? Because saukshmyan, it is subtler than the four. So in the second chapter, when Bhagavan says, achedyo yamadayo yam akladyo ashoshya evacha, this Paramatma is the one which cannot be cut by the sword, which cannot be wet by the water, which cannot be burnt by the fire, and which cannot be dried by the air. Now these four things are equally applicable to the space. Because space is the support of these four elements. In the same manner, this Paramatma, who is supporting the existence of everything, can never be influenced by any one of them. Therefore, na karoti na lipyate. Because saukshmyat tatha sarvatra avasthito dehe atma nopalipyate, is no more touched, influenced by. Now to understand this, take one or two quick examples. See, the basic principle is, knowledge is only illuminator, knowledge is never influence. This is the basic rule. Now take, eyes are the knower of colors and forms. Colors and forms are the known. So are the eyes influenced by the colors and forms? No. Because eyes can illuminate all the colors and forms and remain apart from them, untouched by the color and form. Go to the second stage, the mind. Mind also supports all the good and bad thoughts. Only reason is because mind is not influenced by any one of them. We go further. Consciousness supports the waking dream and the deep sleep and the samadhi. Therefore, consciousnness is not touched or influenced by the four conditions of the upadhi, the prakriti. Therefore, consciousness is the subtlest one, and this consciousness is the expression of the absolute reality. Therefore, this absolute reality cannot be influenced by anything. Therefore, here the reason given is saukshmyat, being the subtler than the subtlest. Therefore, this Atma is untouched. Now, the second example is given because no one example can bring out all the attributes or all the explanation about the absolute reality. Otherwise, there will be two absolute realities. Yatha prakashayatekaha krusnam lokamimam ravihi kshetram kshetri tatha krusnam prakashayati bharata. Now here another simple example to be worked on as spiritual practice. Like we function through the five sense organs. But do we ever have the notion or the experience that when experience of seeing is happening, there is someone else? When the experience of hearing is happening, there is someone else? No. The seer, hearer, smeller, tester, toucher, doer, sleeper, waker, we don't have the experience that there is someone else. It's only one. Because that one consciousness alone functions through the eyes, become the seer. The one consciousness functions through the ears, become the hearer. Now extend this. Is it that the consciousness is functioning only through me? No. Consciousness is functioning through every body. And therefore, through every eyes, there is only vision. Through every ears, there is only hearing. Once we expand our vision in this manner, then we will understand this verse. Yatha ekaha ravi prakashayati krusnam lokam imam. Like one sun in the sky illuminates the total world. You know, in this example, what is the shortcoming? Shortcoming is sun is ekadeshastha. Paramatma is not ekadeshastha. So if you take any example, it will not be complete. Space is not ekadeshastha, but the space cannot illuminate. See the problem. Therefore, what could be the best example? If there is sun like the space, no, impossible. Then this is called as Paramatma. Therefore, yatha prakasheti ekaha krusnam lokam imam ravihi, tatha in the same manner kshetri, this Paramatma, krusnam kshetram prakashayati. So this one conscious reality, Paramatma kshetrajna, krusnam, the total world of experience is illuminated by that one conscious reality, and therefore there are not many jivas, but there is one kshetrajna in and through the total creation. Nay, he alone is. All else is only an illusion. Now, Ravi Drishtantaha atra atmanaha ubhayartaha api bhavati. Now, this example of sun is meant for both the purposes. Which are those? Ravivat sarva kshetreshu eka atma. Like one sun illuminates all the things in the world. In the same manner, like one sun, like one atma is illuminating all the bodies. And second, alaipakaha iti. And as the sun is not influenced by what is illumined by the sun. whether there is a marriage procession going on, when the sun is illuminating, he doesn't become sorry. Poor fellow getting married, now going to suffer. He doesn't become sorry. And when somebody's dead procession is going on, he doesn't become happy. Thank God, this poor fellow liberated from the relative existence. No. He remains untouched, alepakaha. No, samasta adhyaya artha upasamharartha ayam shlokaha. Now the last verse is the conclusion of all what is said in the 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Kshetra kshetrajnayorevam antaram jnana chakshusha bhuta prakriti mokshancha ye viduryanti te param. Now, if somebody is sincerely following what is said in this chapter, or for that purpose in our whole Vedanta Shastra, can such a person ever get involved in any kind of activities that he is initiating? It can never happen. Because in that absolute reality, there is no possibility of any thought coming, I want to do this, I want to do that. It cannot come. That is why it is so true. More mature we become in our understanding, quieter we become. Then there is nothing, I want to do this, I want to do that. No. All the want will disappear. So, kshetra kshetrajnayoho yatha vyakhyaatayoho, these two things, kshetra and kshetrajna, as we have explained in this chapter, evam yatha prakarshita prakarena, as explained by us in this chapter, antaram itaretara vailakshanya vishesham. What is the difference between the kshetra and the kshetrajna? So, whatever we have studied so far, kshetra is that mahabhutanyahankaro up to ichcha dvesha sukham dukkham sanghata chetana dhruti. Up to here is the kshetra. So this kshetra includes what? According to the 7th chapter, apara ashtadha prakriti and para jiva bhuta prakriti. Or according to 15th chapter, kshara purusha and the akshara purusha. Or in the popular language, the conditionings and the conditioned expression of the reality. Jiva and the Jagat. So all of them fall in the purview of the kshetra, and kshetrajna is other than them. So itaretara vailakshanya vishesham jnana chakshusha shastra acharya upadesha danitam atma pratyaikas jnanam chakshuhu tena jnana chakshusha. So jnana chakshu is what then? This jnana chakshu will come only if we have studied, contemplated, understood and practiced that in our life. To understand this jnana chakshu, take a simple example. When a boy goes to the medical college and comes out after passing by paying money, then he no more looks at the people as human beings. Because he has got now the divine vision. What is that? Everybody is a potential patient. And everybody is the source of income. Because now his vision has totally changed. In the same manner, he who has studied the scriptures, so Shastra Acharya Upadesha Janitam Atma Pratyayika Jnanam. And this knowledge is not objective. Atma Pratyayikam. This has to be experienced by oneself. Jnanam Tena Chakshusha. Tena Jnana Chakshusha. By that wisdom, knowledge or the vision of wisdom, eye of wisdom, Bhuta Prakriti Moksham Cha. Bhutanam Prakriti Avidya Lakshanam Avyaktakhya Tasya Bhuta Prakritehe Mokshanam Abhavagavanam. And what is the meaning of liberation from the relativity? Bhuta Prakriti Moksham. Those who know this, Bhutanam Prakriti, what is Bhutanam Prakriti? Avidya Kama Karma. How do we get out of this conditioning of the avidya kama karma? As we have told in this chapter, those who have thus come to realize and discard these ignorance and the effects of ignorance, or go beyond the impact of Prakriti. How it was done? See, this was told by Bhagavan in verse number 23rd. Ya evam vetti purusham prakritim cha gunai sah sarvatha vartamanopi nasabhuyo bhijayate. In this manner, he who sees the separateness of the Purusha from the Prakriti. Similarly, upadrashtanumanta cha bharta bhokta maheshwaraha paramatmeti chapyukta dehesmin purusha paraha. In this manner, he who recognizes this Parabrahma Paramatma. And also, in one more verse, Bhagavan has told, Prakrute vacha karmani kriyamanani sarvashaha yaha pashyati tathatmanam akartaram sa pashyati. So this is what is bhuta prakriti moksham cha ye viduhu. Those who practice, know, experience this, te yanti param. They alone attain the supreme realization. Param what? Param Brahma, meaning punaha deham na adadate ityartaha. Again, they do not get caught up into this identification with the body and don't live by the body, for the body, on everybody. While being alive itself, they are liberated. They are no more living in the realm of relativity. Although for all the practical purposes of the worldly people's understanding, they are living a relative life. But from their own experience point of view, they are established in this ekameva dvitiya neha nanasti kinchana, in this brahmatmaikya bodha. They have no doubt whatsoever. In this manner, this 13th chapter, the most enchanting and the beautiful most one. Om Tatsaditi Shrimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Kshetra Kshetrajna Yogo Nama Trayodashodhyayaha. So this 13th chapter thus concludes, where we have discussed in great details what is the Kshetra, what is the Kshetrajna, and how that Jiva should not be allowed to be born. If you are sincere to what Bhagavan Sri Krishna has taught us, do not ever accept for any reason the preposition of the Jiva Bhava. No, 100% no. The moment you discard the Jiva Bhava, there is no problem of you are becoming hurt. There is no problem of you are becoming want to achieve something. There is no problem that you have to prove something to somebody. Nothing. Thereafter, life will be lived through you. And this is what I have seen fully demonstrated in the life of our Swami Akhandanji Maharaj. Because he got the same instruction what I told you from Shankaranji Avadhut. Don't accept yourself to be Jiva. Swamiji says, thereafter, I never had even once for in my life that I am a Jiva, sufferer or enjoyer in this world. This Jivan Mukti is our own property. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.